This is Stock Talk, a discussion of stocks in the news with the analysts of Zacks.com. It has been a roller coaster week, to say the least, for the stock of Bank of America. Earlier in the week, they saw new lows as investors apparently are still nervous over the company's exposure to mortgage-related losses. Stock was down at one point early in the week, 49% year over year. But since Warren Buffett announced that he was going to come in and help him out a little bit, that has recovered now to just down 41% on the year. Our crack analysts here were hard at work looking at the whole story behind Bank of America. Tracy Reinick and Mike Vodicka join me once again to talk about this. So thanks to Warren Buffett, we're going to see the Buffett bounce take hold on Bank of America. But what was the fundamental picture before Buffett came in and announced?
Well, it depends on who you talk to. It kind of is, it's a weird conundrum with this company because you had the CEO coming out for many weeks now saying that they didn't need a capital infusion. That was the worry that was out there because they have a lot of these settlements with the mortgage issues. And, some people think the settlements and what they're going to be on the hook for are much larger than what the bank is actually saying is going to be the case. So he's been saying, no problems, no problems. But then suddenly today you have this capital infusion coming in when, they claimed they didn't need one. So the scenario around this company is still kind of, unknown, I believe, even with this Buffett news.
And today being Thursday, August the 25th, if you're trying to peg this out on the calendar as to how this played out. So chart-wise, Mikey, how did this play out?
Well, we did get a really nice bounce off this news, of course, as you would expect. Shares of Bank of America have been beaten into the ground pretty hard. So Bank of America actually bounced about 25-30% on the news, an intraday high of 880. But since then, we've seen some of that heat come out of the share price. They are trading at the intraday low right now, shares up about 12%. So that was it was a good bounce. But sort of taking a step back and looking at the longer term picture, which you guys referenced before, the longer term trend with Bank of America is fairly bearish. I brought a 12-month chart with me, and what you can see is shares have been under pressure for the last 6 months, topping off at about $15.31 and 52-week low at $6. So the longer term trend is most definitely still bearish in BAC, although this was a nice little boost for them. It'll be interesting to see how long this sticks for.
How long the bounce takes hold and lasts.
Yeah,
that's what you're saying.
Absolutely. And taking even a step further, I brought one more chart with me that I want to share with everyone that really says a lot about what's been going on with Bank of America. I brought a 5-year chart with me. And what you can see is that the picture has changed significantly. Shares had topped off between $47 and $50, before the financial crisis, and right now we're trading at $6, $7, $8. So from a structural perspective, the story has totally changed with Bank of America. Be careful investing in companies like this because the downward trend is definitely bearish.
And the fundamentals really are not expected to change much on the Buffett news, are they, Tracy? I mean, the company laid off 3,500 employees earlier this month, early August, on top of the 2,500 that they had laid off earlier in the year. I mean, fundamentals don't seem like they're going to change quickly.
Right. They have been shrinking to some extent. They're trying to sell some assets to raise some money.
Right.
And just the banking industry as a whole has been struggling. The investment banking arms of a lot of these companies is not healthy right now. So they're not alone in laying off people. So they have that. And then in addition to the seemingly endless litigation going on with their mortgage side of the business. Right. And as we know, housing hasn't really recovered much. So even their current mortgage business isn't really adding to the picture either.
So all of these issues in the investor's mind apparently causing some skepticism about the balance sheet.
Right. They're expected to lose money this year for the first time in several years. They're supposed to lose about 28 cents. They made 86 cents last year. So can they turn that around by next year? The analysts seem to think so, but that was before this recent Buffett news and some of the other things that have been going on. A lot will hinge on what they actually have to pay out in these mortgage litigation settlements, I think.
Yeah. Can Warren really help Bank of America? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. With Tracy and Mike, I'm Terry Ruffalo.